Evening, welcome to the Derby Debrief from RamsTV. I'm with Bradley with former Rams skipper Shaun Barker alongside, here to reflect on Derby's winning start to their EFL Trophy campaign, a 3-1 win over League 2 Grimsby Town. Derby's first involvement in the competition, for the senior side at least, in 37 years. 3 goals in the first half for Derby, got the job done in the end. Mendes Lang Sibley, and then a cracker from Max Bird. A late goal from the visitors, just to give their supporters something to cheer about on the way home. You'll get reaction from goalkeeper Scott Loach making his debut, from manager Liam Rossini shortly as well. We'll kick off with a word or two from Box, as we always do. Derby did what they needed to tonight. What did you make of the performance?
Pretty controlled throughout the 90 minutes. 2 glorious goals in Sibley and Max Bird. Some really strong individual performances. I thought Jake Rooney was absolutely outstanding, and job done. You know, sometimes you can come against these teams and find it difficult. Grimsby tried. They got in some half-decent positions. Scott Loach made a vital save in that first half. And the last 5 minutes of that first half killed it for Grimsby and really took us into half-time, complete control. The second half was about keeping that momentum up, trying to get more goals. We didn't. Disappointing to concede, but still a good performance, good result. Yeah, 2 goals in 3 minutes right at the end of the first half. Was the game won at that point? It was won at half-time. Yeah, well, it was 1-0, and Grimsby just started to get a foothold in the game. They started to have a little bit of confidence. They had a couple of half chances, and then that really good chance with the goalkeeper Scott Loach making a really good save, and at that point it was 1-0 and the game was still anyone's. Even though we was in the control, even though we were pretty dominant, when it stays at 1-0 you always run the risk of giving the game up almost, and those 2 goals just before half time, and 2 wonderful goals as well. First one with the ball over the top, Mendes Lang, who was bright in that first 45 minutes, set up Sibley really well, and the finish from Max Bird is a good way to go into half-time. 3-0, complete control, and it was nice to see some of the subs come on, make a difference, some young lads coming on, all round good 90 minutes. More from Box in a moment or two. Let's get the assessment from Liam Rossini, though. Here's the manager.
Very pleased. I thought it was a really good game. I was delighted with the application of the players. Some fantastic goals, some great moves, and Grimsby played their part as well. I said before the game, they really try and play football. So it was a really good football match. Great result, delighted with the 3 goals. And again, it keeps us with that kind of momentum and that winning habit, which is really important going through the season.
You seem to take a really professional approach to it tonight.
Always have. I said to the players before the game, I don't really need to say it to them because they're such a good set of players, but every time we set foot on the pitch, it tells a story. You tell a story about your character and how you are as a professional, and I'm so happy with tonight because I think it represented us as a group in a really good way. It doesn't matter if we're playing in this competition, in the league, in the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. I just want us to go out and do the right things, and I think every single player, game died a little bit second half, which is normal when you've got so much control and so much dominance, but in terms of the application of the players, which is really important to me, I'm really pleased.
There have been games this season where the ball's just not gone in for you. No such problems tonight, and the second 2 goals in particular were really good, weren't they? Yeah,
obviously I was delighted from that, and that's been away for a week, and to see him back in with the lads and get that bit of luck, it's kind of happens for you, and he's deserved that. He's been working really hard. I can't credit him enough because he's worked hard. Even though he was away from us, he's been staying fit. So to get him back in, get him playing 60 minutes, delighted with him getting the goal. And I felt the third goal from Birdie's was just a moment of individual brilliance. He's got that quality with his left foot. I want him to score more goals, and he's got the ability to do that. The second goal pleased me so much because that's a pattern we work on day in, day out on the training ground. And it was a great finish from Sibbs, who's really in really good form. So yeah, really pleased with everyone. Jake Rooney was magnificent. Craig Forsyth with him again. I think we can make a centre-half out of Fozzie because the last 2 performances at centre-back, he's been brilliant. So yeah, all through the squad, I've got to give them all credit because they're all engaged in the process. They all believe in what we're doing, and it makes my life really difficult to pick a team for Saturday.
Jake Rooney's becoming a bit of a cult hero, isn't he? The fans love him.
Yeah, we've kept the song going. We've kept the Rooney song going, which brings good memories for me. So he's a great kid, and I said after the Mansfield game, we saw something really good in Jake in pre-season, and he's showing it on the pitch, and I couldn't speak highly enough of his performance, but it doesn't surprise me with the work he puts in on the training ground. Same for Kwaku. You know, it's their first real experience of men's football. I thought Kwaku defended the back post really, really well, got some important headers in, and Jake showed he can defend, but he also showed real calmness and quality on the ball. So I said to you before, we're trying to develop the club short term, but we're trying to develop the club long term, and they're two absolutely brilliant acquisitions for the club.
And you got an opportunity to give Darren Robinson, Bartosz Szypulski some minutes as well. Was that important to you?
Really important. I think Darren Robinson's been a delight to work with in the 2 years he's been here. He's still very young. He's only 17. So again, you want to develop young players, and Bart has been really, really good in training, and he's applied himself really well in the under-21s games. And again, Owen, it's important to me to develop the football club, not just the first team, but making sure, you know, this club is built on bringing young players through, and I want to help Darren Wassell and Pat Lyons as much as possible in terms of that process.
And just finally, Corey Smith walking around in a boot, which is alarming, but not too bad.
It's not as bad as it looks with the boot on. Corey, credit to him, I thought he was magnificent when he came on, made a difference. So he actually did it in the first minute of coming on and played through it. And that's the type of character and resilience I want in the squad. He's got a small, I can't even tell you, it's like a ligament injury in his toe, which might keep him out for a week or 10 days. But the sooner he gets back fit, the better, because he's a key part of our squad.
Liam Rossini, their prognosis not too bad for Corey Smith. I have to say it is alarming to see them in that boot, but not too bad by sounds of it. Back to tonight and the action this evening, Barks. How pleased were you to see Derby hit their stride in front of goal a little more? Because that's been the concern, that's been the criticism so far. No such problems tonight.
No, it was. We've had performances where we've created chances and not taken them and not made the most of situations, and we did tonight. And it makes such a difference to the game. You then go from a position where you might be on a knife edge, you're worrying about maybe the opposition. When you get the second and third goal, it just relaxes everyone. And we took our chance as well. You know, the first one was a little bit fortunate, obviously coming off the post, but it was a great move building up to that. The second one was delightful in the movement down the right-hand side, and Lewis Sibley, you never doubted him from that position. Of course, it was an individual cracker for the third, but we still created chances. We still ploughed forward, still got forward runners. There was a real kind of flow to the game. As Liam said there, Grimsby tried to play their bit as well, and they got the goal that maybe they deserved for the effort in the second half. But all in all, it was a good performance and some real bright moments in that final third, especially in the first 45 minutes with Mendes-Lang, Dobbin and Sibley all supporting Collins.
Sibley gets his second of the season. How important is it for him that he gets some goals early in the season, no matter how they come, no matter who they come against? Because people keep saying he needs a big season. This could be his real breakthrough season.
Well, he's been knocking on the door really for the last year or so, but what he hasn't followed up with is consistent performances and consistency with getting goals and assists. Now, when you're a player with his quality and his attributes, you have to do more, and getting a couple of goals at the start of the season is great for any player. Louis Sibley, he's got to make his mark. We know he's got quality. We know he's talented. We know he can impact games, and we've seen that this season. And he will be trying desperately to play as many games as possible to get as many goals. And there's another good goal for him this evening.
And you think Max Bird's third is an early contender for goal of the season, don't you?
I think so. I think the way he runs onto the ball, he knew that he had to bend the ball away from the goalkeeper. From that angle, he couldn't just strike it and hope for the best. He curled it away from the goalkeeper. He never had a chance. It was a glorious finish. And Max deserves that as well, because so consistent. You forget how young he still is. I know he's got experience because he's played a lot of games. He's now the vice captain, which brings a little bit more responsibility. But he can deal with that. You can see mentally he's extremely tough. He doesn't get forward maybe as much as he wants at time because he's so pivotal in the move. But when he gets into that final third and he's got a chance on the edge of the box, he's got that quality as well. Just
a quick word for someone who didn't find the net tonight, although everyone was desperate for him to, including his teammates, and you could see that in the effort that went into trying to get James Collins an opportunity. And he had one or two chances. He's getting in the right areas, but that wait for the first Derby goal goes on for the striker.
Well, I think he got in those chances, especially in the first 3 or 4 games of the season. The last couple probably hasn't had those clear-cut chances, and I was unsure whether it would be McGoldrick starting tonight or Collins. I think the manager's desperate for him to get a goal. You can hear the fans are desperate for him to get a goal, and you see him kind of lean on the post in the remaining few minutes where he just missed that chance when McGoldrick put the ball into the box, and it will come. It will come. What you can't fault is his effort, his work rate for the team, his desire to chase balls down, his reactions to losing the ball, and his reactions for the misplaced passes is tremendous. And I thought he was excellent for that today. He just needs that goal, and it will come. We have to be patient. We have to also appreciate what he gives the team.
Just before we hear from Scott Loach, a word on Jake Rooney, who is becoming a little bit of a cult hero, I think, already. I have had a few people get in touch on social media to ask if we're ever going to pick someone who isn't a part of the back four for man of the match. But I feel like he deserved it tonight, and he looks beyond his years to me.
Well, at half-time, there's probably 2 or 3 in the running. I thought Dobbin was bright, probably lacked that cutting edge in the final third. I thought Mendes-Lang was a real handful down that right-hand side, got a goal, obviously set one up, so they were in contention. But I thought Jake Rooney was excellent in the first half and continued in the second half. It was absolutely outstanding. And naturally, being a defender, I do look at defenders and how they're performing and what they're offering the team, and he offered everything. But it's just how it's gone the last 3 or 4 weeks. Jason Knight was exceptional the week before, Richard Stearman, and it's no surprise that you're picking defenders when you're keeping scores to a minimum, you're keeping clean sheets, you have possession of the ball, but when those transitions where you've got to be on your toes, you've got to defend, it was awesome tonight. Yeah,
no doubt he was excellent tonight. Let's hear from the man who made his Derby County debut this evening, goalkeeper Scott Loach.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an honour to play for a club of this size and this stature. So if you'd have told me this would have happened, within the last 6 months, then I think, I would have got you in a headlock and said you were joking. But no, I'm really honoured to be here. I've enjoyed my first 6 weeks, and to put the shirt on is a memorable occasion for me and my family. So it's nice to have them here, and regardless of the competition, any game for this club's great.
I know you came to the club knowing what your role would be, but obviously you wanted to play matches, so to get out there is special.
Yeah, obviously I'm a professional footballer. That's what you live and breathe for. Even on a Saturday when I'm supporting Joe, that buzz of walking out, I don't think anything will ever beat that. But I'm really enjoying my role. I love being around Joe. We've bonded really closely, and kind of taking Harrison and little Tomo under my wing as well, kind of giving them any little bit of extra and experience they can, and a bit of belief, because they're the next ones coming through, and hopefully if we can push them, then the club's going to be sport for goalkeepers in a few years.
And you got to show what you were about tonight. Really sharp save in the first half.
Yeah, the work's been hard, very hard, compared to what I've been used to. Piercy and the sessions I've had with Ross as well, they both work you really hard. Obviously the tempo you've seen Joe play, and the boys, and the finishing from the likes of Connor and Didsy, and that it took me a while to get up to speed, but we always knew that. We always knew it was a process, and it's like nights like tonight, unfortunately, with Anang's injury, I had to step in, and like I said, we knew my role, and hopefully I was there and gave the manager confidence if he needs to do it again.
How pleased are you in there with the win tonight?
Yeah, brilliant, because these games are tricky, especially. I think these can be a bit of a statement without people realising. When you come on the pitch and put a performance in like that, you can show how professional you are, what your standards are, and we're not saying yes we want to go to Wembley in May and win this every game. We're showing game by game with Derby County, and we're here to win. I think that breeds all the way through the club then, and you sort of Bart, come on, Robbo, come on. You saw your quacks. Rooney's looks like he's more experienced than his uncle at the minute. Do you know what I mean? It's filtering right for the team, from the lads that are setting the example from the Saturdays, and we've got to keep doing that and keep growing.
Scott Loach reflecting on his Derby County debut. It was a busy night in the EFL Trophy, but only one other scoreline of significance as far as we're concerned in Northern Group F. A bit of a thriller at the One Call Stadium. Mansfield went in front, fell behind, but battled back to beat Manchester City's under-21s by 3-2. Derby host Man City next month in their next group game. Travel to Mansfield in their final fixture in October. That's all to come. And Derby off to a winning start tonight. That's all from us for now. If you want more reaction, it's on the website, dcfc.co.uk. We're back at the weekend. Until then, goodbye.